Hello, welcome to my crafty garden. Today I have a little support tutorial video for my pattern. This is Of a Feather Mini for children's baby sizes. 0 to 3 months is the smallest, and 18 to 24 months or 2 years old is the largest. And this is my third version. So I'm knitting this one for a friend and her daughter, and I thought I would share some tips on color work, chat about steeking and the steek and knitting the color work in the steek, and then I also chose to do a contrast hem or rib hem, and so I thought I would talk about one small alteration I did that's different than how I wrote the pattern, just for the contrast color. So the first thing I wanted to just demonstrate is knitting this one section of the pattern. So here in my original, the longest area you have is in the tips of the feather. There's 7 stitches here, and that length of float is a little long to not catch the float. So you can do it. Here's 5 that I didn't catch. Usually I don't really do 5 in this case. Down here, you could argue I should have done it right there, but it'll be okay. So the 7 though definitely need to catch the floats. So just because with little bitty fingers, I would say for an adult, maybe you could get away with not doing it, but with baby fingers, they might get caught in there while you're trying to put the cardigan on them. So yeah, that's why I'm recommending it. So I thought I would just demonstrate how I'm going to do that and talk about a tip, because this section has 7 stitches, and the next row will have also 7 stitches. I'm gonna recommend that you do that you trap the float in a different spot. So this is the case where you could actually perfectly trap the float in that middle stitch, and I'm gonna recommend that you not do that. So what I have done through this whole thing is I have knit 4 of the 7 stitches and then trapped the float here and then knit 2. And so that shifts the trap just to this side. And then when I knit the next round, I'll do 3 stitches, or I could even do 2 stitches and then trap the float. And so that will put the trapped float over here. And the reason to offset them like that is because if you stack them both right in the middle or really close together, that can cause just some weird tensioning in that one area, and the white will be more likely to pull through to the front. In this case, the background color I have is like a cream white color. So that could really pull the background color awkwardly through the front, and you'll see it poking through. But if you don't trap the floats in the same exact spot, that can help. So I'm just going to show that, and then I'm going to talk about the steek. So I need 7 stitches. So I'm going to knit this 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this is how I trap this yarn Continental, and I have a whole video on this. It's stranded colorwork knitting Continental, it's something like that. I did it years ago. So for me, I go in through the stitch all the way around behind, drop it on top of the pink, pull it through, and then I need 1, 2 more. And so there's my 7 stitches that I need. And then I'm going to knit 1 white, and I'll show you that again. So 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I like to stretch it out there, just keep that tension nice and pulled out so they don't get too tight. And then I trapped it. Now I'm just knitting the rest of the stitches. So there's my 7. There's my trapped yarn, and that's all. I'm just going to keep doing that until I'm done with this row. And then, like I said, on the next row, since I did the trap over to this side, the next row I'll do it closer to this side. And I think that really does help. So I just wanted to share that tip with you guys. The next thing I want to talk about is just a little bit of color work management in the steek. So when you're knitting the steek, there's a couple different ways that you can do it. I have recommended in the pattern that you do purls at the beginning of the steek. So I'm going to show you that now, actually. So I'm alternating the colors every round. So there's a pink pearl here, so I'm going to do a white pearl, and I do the Norwegian pearl in this case because it's because I'm holding the yarn continental and there's 2 strands, it makes it easier. So I just purled, and now there's a white, so I'm going to do a pink, and so on and so forth. And now I'll do the Norwegian pearl again. So that's how I've been doing my steek, and I'm just alternating every round. It looks nice and clean. You're not going to see it, of course, when you cut it and fold it to the back. But I'll talk about the purl stitches on either side. They help fold the fabric to the back. So when you're done and you cut it, the fabric is just going to want to fold backwards for you. So here's the button band on my original. And you can see I picked it up right next to the feather. It's a very clean line. And then if I turn it over and show you my steek, I did whip stitch the steeks down, but I did not do any securing with this yarn. I didn't need to. So you can see what that looks like. It's just folded over neatly to the wrong side. And the purl ridge really helps to do that. So another tip is that you can do a purl ridge down the center. I've seen other people do that. I didn't say to do that in the pattern, but it's something you could easily add, is to do a purl. So you would, I have 5 stitches here. You could do 7, you could do 9, whatever you feel. You could do 6, really. There's no reason you have to do an odd number. But so I have a purl, a knit, then I could do a purl, knit, purl. And then you would cut where that center purl is. But I mean, if that's something when you want to add, go for it. You know, this works just fine too. But it does make a nice little channel there. So maybe it's easier for you to see where to cut, if that would be helpful for you. So one other thing I thought I would talk about with the steek. So when I'm joining new colors or ending the old color, I don't knit the center. I try not to knit the center stitch on that round. So you could see there where I don't have any color in the middle, and there. I typically don't do that, and I don't know how much it really matters, but what that causes is that when I cut that center column, when I cut the center column, when I go to cut the steek, the tails will not be affected because I never knit the tail into that center. And so then what I do is I just take the tapestry needle and weave them back like this. So they're not crossing the center, they just go to the back. And there's not a lot of ends to do, it's not that bad. So that's totally optional, not necessary at all. And you can knit them through the center. That's just kind of my thing. I just stop them. So for example, if I was changing color on this round, I would have purled, knit the one pink, and then left a tail, break the yarn, leave a tail, knit white here, and then join my new color past the center. Since there's 5 stitches, the center is that 3rd stitch. So I wouldn't wouldn't join the new color here, and I wouldn't knit the old color into that center stitch. I hope that makes sense. The last thing I wanted to talk about was the contrast hem. So I chose to do this brown contrasting hem, and I made a slight alteration to the pattern. So in the pattern, you're told to do the ribbing and then knit one row of knit stitches before casting on the steek, the backwards loop casting on your stitches for the steek. In this case, I did it a little bit differently. I decided, because I was doing the contrast color, I knit the ribbing, and then I was here, and then I did the backwards loop cast on the 5 stitches, and then I just knit that one plain round across, and then so it just starts the stitches for the steek one row early. That's the only difference, and I just felt like I wanted to do it that way, just with the contrast color. I'm not sure that you need to do it that way. I just thought I would share that's the way that I did it. So if you wanted to do a contrast color, that's something you could consider doing, is casting on the steek and then knitting that final plain knit. There's one plain knit row before the color work starts. Okay, that's it for today for this little tutorial, and I hope it helped. Thanks for watching. Bye.